I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm out in the shop and I got something to share with you. Well, hope you can stick around. Well, if you do stick around, all you got to do is watch. A couple of weeks ago, I did a little something on glue blocks for Worldwide Woodturners. And that's a great club, worldwidewoodturners.org. And at the meeting on Wednesday evenings, we normally have a demonstration. Well, I couldn't do a demonstration out here, and I didn't get a hold of my 100+ members at each meeting to get a demonstration. So I did one and recorded it, and then I played it back. But I talked about things with glue blocks. Now, it's an important part of what we do is how we hold it. My old saying, if you can hold it, you can turn it. There's no doubt about it. If you can hold it, you can turn it. Well, except for marble rocks and things like that. But give me a try at it. I'll try it. Watch. I want to use a glue block, not as a glue block, but with a glue block. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Stick around. My goal today, and be more than one day because I got to let some glue dry, is to return this piece. You see it? It's ornamented. Got a shallow bottom, but there's ornamentation down on the inside. Now this thing is about, maybe 1/4 of an inch thick. Maybe. It's beautiful Cocobolo. I don't want to lose it, but I can't redo this outside anymore. I don't have that pattern. And when I do have that pattern, it's going to be set within, is it micromillimeters? It's damn close. But I want to do it. So now I want to cut this out and put a ring in there. How do I hold it? Well, I can't squeeze it here. That'll ruin it. I can't, chucking it wouldn't be easy at all. So right now I'm thinking, this is my piece. And I want to put a glue block there. And I want to hold it true because I don't want to lose any wood. I'm going to start with a glue block. Well, that's got the tail on it, just like regular. Don't worry about this. That's enough. I don't like to saw things off, so it's not going to get sawn off. I'm going to resize this to fit inside this box to hold it. Then I'm going to push it on, hold it, and then, stick around. Wood turners. If I seem muffled after a while, it's because I'm wearing my shield. I have to wear my shield. I've been told by my doctors, and they tell me everything, that if I get hit in the head by something, I might not wake up. So I'm going to err to the side of caution, and I'm going to wear my shield. This is the block I have in here, and I now want to hold it. All right, get that out of the way, because that's supposed to be on my head. I want to set my tool rest up to do this. Now, how do I do that? Do you see that little line right there? That little line is when my tool rest is at perfect dead center to my piece. That line indicates I'm at perfect dead center. Now that line is not on yours. That line's on mine because I put it there. I put my spur in, I got top dead center, put it down, check my diamond marker, and marked it in. See, I know when I'm at center. I don't have to drop it down, drop it up, raise it up, and drop it down. I love those phrases. You can't raise it down and drop it up. Okay, that's like, but you don't know. All right, stick around. Let's go. We're going to use the parting tool. Now get this. I see people using parting tools and they're working this and they're doing this and this. Give it all the time to work. It's a point. My speed today is 1,342 and a half. I have that off, and you would think, throw this in the trash can. No, we're going to use it in a few minutes. Yeah, we are. So I'm going to put that off on the side, and that's not the trash can side. I'm going to get my bead. We're going to make a sleeve. Just now when I was parting that off, I realized my parting tool is not very sharp. It's not. And this is my D-way tool. What should I do? Never ever touch this side or this side. but you can touch that point and improve that point. That's all you're doing, is giving that point a cutting edge. That's it. Don't go up and down over the angle. You might not achieve the angle, and one thing's for sure, you can round it off. That's touching this up, the parting tool. I'm not going to do the bead end. I picked up my old skew. This is an old piece. I don't remember who made it, but it's a nice tool. I'm going to use this to put that shoulder on here because I'm a little more comfortable with this than I am with the other tool. So with that, I'm going to crank it back up. Shields down. The key here is patience. I ran it down a little bit using my gouge, and now I want to fit that point. And we'll do it not with a caliper, with good old eyes. Now we're cooking with gas. That's where I want to be. A little bit smaller, and then we'll be there. Might not have to use toilet paper. Now we got it. 1 or 2 more scrapes. That's what I'm getting off. Little fine scrapes. I have it where to go up. Tap it a little bit. Let's see something. Oh yeah, look how true it's running. That's what I want, because I don't want to throw a lot of wood away. So right now, I want to clean this up just a little bit. I'm going to hot glue it. As you saw, I have pushed onto this piece. To hold it, to clean it up, I'm going to bring up a soft touch. Soft touch is a piece of wood I turned that fits on top of my live setter to let it spin and not make a scratching contact with my piece. Whereas right now, I'm putting a little bearing on it, I'm holding it, but I am not crushing it, beating it, putting a point in it, or anything else. And that's a patented soft touch. Well, it's not really patented. I made this almost 20 years ago out of a piece of mahogany I took off a shopping center. Yeah. Now, if you're new to the planet, you don't understand a soft touch. That's it right there. There's a block of wood, and it can be square when you get started. It's a 3/4 by 10 tack. Get it at the hardware store. It's under 10 bucks. Do not buy it from a catalog service. Go to the hardware store. Keep your money local, and it's the same thing. And then I shaped it. This is a piece of handrail. The hole in the middle is because I can use this to put pressure against my pen mandrel. Get that? I can put pressure on my pen mandrel going through. They sell the tool for doing that now. So all I do is drill a hole in it. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I mentioned a little while ago that this wasn't waste. It's not. It's going to become a glue block again. I'm going to put it in my headstock. I'm going to bring up the tails, and it doesn't really have to be exact. You know, I mean, it's going to become exact in a minute. But I'm going to roll my tailstock into it. If I hit the center, I hit the center. If not, we're going to live with it. There we go. And what I do it with, that's my steb center over here. That's the EB center. One of my best friends in the world. I have a 5/8 one. Boy, I turned a lot of projects with this. All right, now I have my block in. I'm going to make a glue block on it. Now I've cut my primary shoulder right here. This is a fit in my chuck. I am always careful that this is the right size. If it's too big, I'm going to get a good grip on it. If it's too small, I get no grip on it. I have a gauge. My gauge matches right here, that little jaw. So I use this gauge to look at it and see if this matches up. Hey, it stays there because it's got a couple of rare magnums in it. And it'll sleep on a headstock with no problems. That's my beginning of my glue block. Now, if you understand my belief on glue blocks, that depression is perfect. That is absolutely unnecessary for what we're doing. We're going to hold this, but we're going to hold it just on the outside edges. You got it? Just on the outside edges. Hey, remember I told you I hated hot glue? Well, I hate it even more today. A hot glue, and I get this, I've been out of the shop for 7 years, okay? And I'm getting back in, just to show you that you can do it. Well, I didn't ask my material if I could do it. My glue went south. I don't know what happened to it. It just won't, heats up and it just doesn't do anything. So I went to a 5-minute epoxy. I'm not a great fan of this, but for what I'm doing, I only need a ring. Now pay attention to that. hate saying that. That's the ring. This is going to fit on that ring. That's the ring. This is going to fit on that ring. I need no more epoxy than that. I'm going to bring this up. That's my piece. Remember, it was centered on this. Bring up my tailstock. Put a little bitty bit of pressure on it. Take a look at it. I am now running true. Running true. That's where I want to be. Now, that little bit of pressure, it says 5 minutes. It's time to go back to the feed bin. And if you know me, I probably don't need to go to the feeding bin. But drugs have a funny way of making you sick. Not hungry. I haven't been hungry in months. And I'm eating vegetables and turkey. I'm so tired of it. Can I have a steak? We'll be back to work on this in a little bit. Stick around. Well, you have to. You know what? I'm going to throw a commercial in the meantime. I've got to make a buck. Hey, as I get suited up to get back on this again, I will remind you that Big Eye Productions, yeah, that's www.eddiecastellan.com. We have a little business. We sell carbide cutters, bars, templates, and a couple other things, all for the turning industry. Yeah, Turners Helping Turners is what it's all about. Well, you can help me out too, because the boss only tells me I can only be out here and spend money, do things, play in the shop and all that, if you buy things from us from eddiecastellan.com. That's it. Tell you the truth. Things have been a little bit slim lately. Not me, I'm not slim. But things have been slim. If you help us out, let's go there and get it done. Thank you for your time. Now, I'm in the shop on that project again. Here, let me see if I can move this around and see it. There it is. Now, what I've done, I created the tailpiece, inserted the block over it, put a glue block on the bottom of it. Now, this is what's going to hold. Did you ever have one of those days where just the brain, never mind, just one of those days. All right, we're back in the shop, of course we are, and I'm working on this little project. Now, what have I got? I've got a couple of things going here. I have an insert block holding the piece on. Nope, that's wrong. That's an insert block holding the piece on. This is a glue block that I just attached the piece to. Now, what I have now is a piece that's running pretty true. Oh, that's pretty fast. Should check that. All right, now I got a piece that's running pretty true. What I'd like to do is take this holding block off and clean up those spurs and get rid of them. Why am I getting rid of them? I found it a few minutes ago. See, I'm still looking for stuff in the shop. I think I just now found another tool. This is something I embellished, created that. Yes, we created it. That is a beautiful rosette that's in there. See how it's going to look from the outside? That's how it's going to look when it's on the top of the piece. Now, with that in mind, I don't want to be rude. Here. With that in mind, I'm trying to get used to this stuff. I'm going to have to hold this the same way. I'm going to have to push something in to hold it, put it on a glue block, create and then turn around and smooth it out using another jam block or a glue block. And that way, this lid can fit in the... I just came up with another brilliant idea. I don't have anything but brilliant ideas. All right, stick around. We're going to shape this up, and then next time we get together, we're going to have this ready. Take a little prep. What else I got to do? Stay tuned. I've had a lot of time to think about how to do video stuff. And while I'm getting this ready, I'll tell you that everything I'm doing out here, this thing right here, this is my iPad. Yeah, iPad. And I normally carry it around to do business. Is this business? Okay. So, shooting it with the iPad, holding it with a kind of homemade gooseneck device. And I have the piece running right now. Now, my thing is, I want to remove these points and get them out of here. The beauty of the way I'm using on the video is I can now zoom in and show you
exactly what I'm talking about. This piece has some great chatoyance. See, my wife says I should use that term. Makes me sound, never mind. But it got some great chatoyance. I never want to lose this. I want this piece to be done up, and I'm going to put that little rosette on top of it, and maybe share that with you when we get there, because it's still being created. But right now, see, I can zoom in on this. Now I'm going to get out my little detail tool, and that's nothing more. Right there. See it? Little detail tool. Now, I can use that to put the cut on it, remove it. That's not too bright. I'll show you why. Hey, you just pulled out that piece, that follower block. A glue block I made into a follower block. See that? That's still a glue block, and you'll be surprised how we're going to use it later. I don't throw them away. See? Put them in there. This is what I'm excited about. Look at that. It is, well, let's do it with paper towel. Look. Look. There's no trace. That's that Boeing T9. No residue. It's not underneath where it make it slide. Heard somebody say the other day they couldn't get their tool rest to stop. I bet you looking at all this and never looked under there. Put your fingers underneath there and feel it. Yeah, if you feel trash or bumps or anything like that, that's why your tool rest doesn't, I mean your tailstock doesn't stick. It can't. All right, let's get back to the piece. This is the piece we're talking about. Oh yeah, by the way, I mentioned that clean bed because that's critical to doing good work and smooth work, because if this tailstock doesn't move easily like that, see that? That's nice. If it does move easily, then you're going to be held up on the work you're doing, because you can't fight the tools and then work with them. Now, got the piece up, I reset my tool rest. Remember the little line? Well, I knew if I got about a 1/4 inch below the line, which I know the line is, then I can do this. Do what? I'm going to put a scribe on here so I can start cutting it. Got my shield partially on, and say partially because I got to talk to you. To go in here with this multi-tool and cut it, still protect, still got a lot of my protection. That was my mark to let me know where I need to go. If I use this to try to take that out, I'm going to be putting a chisel into a watch. Well, that's a crude thing to say. Chisel into a watch, because this will not slice away the material. Oh, I can do a little of the edges and all, but I'm not slicing away. What I'm going to use is my 3/8 inch Ellsworth type gouge, and I'm going to slowly watch. Shields up. All slices. All slices. Held that tool gouge almost totally vertical, and as I needed to get in there, I rolled it over a little bit. I call it the on and off switch. I changed the vantage point a little bit so you can look in here, but while you're looking in here, that's what I took out. See those little curly cues? That is what you're looking for. If only doop 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 doop, that's a sound effect. Doop 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 doop. Hitting on those hands, I would have beat it up. Now, I have still have the all chopped up and everything. Still back on my 3/8 gouge. Now get this, be like you're looking in a mirror. No, you're not a mirror. What I did, and look, I love it when you get those those shavings, because that's safe. What you're looking at now is I'm spinning the piece in reverse direction. See? See, it's not the camera. The piece is actually going in reverse. It's not so I can put wood back on. It's because I want you to see my gouge as I go over here away from me and I make those slight cuts. Now watch, I'm making those cuts and I'm still getting a curly Q strip off because I'm slicing all the way through. All right. Very light cuts, and the flute is almost dead vertical, so I'm cutting just with that front edge. And that's the master of this. Just at that front edge, I'm cleaning it out a little bit. I'm blowing it, but it's Cocobolo, I don't want it in my eyes. I got it pretty clean. Do you know that right now, I'm this close to satisfied, this close, of how this is going to work. But I'm probably going to take a little straight scraper and clean that edge up a little bit. To do this, I've got my own little specialty tool. It's a piece of 1/4 by 5/16 steel I got out of MSC Director's tool steel, and then I sharpened it just like a specialty cutter. Do you see that? That's what I sharpened it to. Now, this is what I'm going to use to put that negative in, or that sleeve in for the box, because this, I've just touched up the edge on it. It's good and sharp when I corner. Again, I'm cutting just with that corner, not with the whole blade, because that'll bounce. And that is pretty much where I want to be. I'm going to sand it a little bit and I'll be ready. I had to turn it around, make it run the right way to sand. Why? I'm an old EOD troop from the Air Force. It's like a monkey in a football. Don't make it too complicated, so I took the complication out. And when I'm sanding like this, the grit is going down away from me. And I've got a little fan that blows over here. The fan's expensive when it came from Walmart. Now see how that's back, that is the finish. Piling up on it. Wait, I want to show you how to get around that. We're going to go to water to get around it. We're going to wet sand it a little bit to remove that. Why? Because it won't clog up the paper. So I'm going to put the speed down just a little bitty bit. Now I'm 417 RPMs. Sand the same area and look. I remove more finish with less percentage on the wood. That's an EOD term. Where do I get all this EOD stuff? I was in the Air Force. It's Uncle Sam's Flying Circus. And I was an explosive ordnance disposal specialist. Yeah, specialist. I was the guy you called when the bomb didn't go off or it stopped in the right place or the wrong place or whatever. And we learned how to do a lot of things the hardest way in the world. No equipment, no support. We were told that's got to get done, you got to get it done today. That's what I love about deadlines. Put a stake in the ground, mark it, and go do it. Now, this is 320 grit. This piece is down to just about the wood. It's got a good finish on it. It had a good CA finish on it. I use a little piece of paper towel, never a rag. You know, have you been around a while? Oh, I am down to a good finish right now. Now, I'm at 320. I don't want to be that coarse because I want this wood to come out and dance at me when I get done. So I'm going to continue to sand at some finer grits. Got it? Got it. Okay, I went from 320, I'm going to sieve up to 400. Now, I sanded this with the 320 because it was already finished and I didn't have any scratches on it. And I want to go into the 400, but then I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to take a look at it. Because what I see right there could be my finished product if I work at it. Now, don't let anybody tell you they can start sanding at 120, 140, 160, 180, whatever. You go back down to double-digit numbers. You go down to 80 or 100, and you start over again because you want to remove all the heavy scratches. Now, just simple cutting leaves some scratches because it pulls wood out. So now I've got whatever would have pulled out, whatever would have been torn is now standing proud. I can go ahead, crank up my machine. I'm running at what, 413 and a half RPMs? You know that number's not important, don't you? That number's so unimportant it's not funny. I hear it all the time. How fast are you turning it? Does it matter? Does it really matter? No, those numbers don't matter. It's how fast you're turning it. Right? Just like to do 3,391 RPMs or something like that. And I've used it at that speed. But this is down on a medium level. And I'm right now at about 500 RPMs. It may be a little less, so you can do this on your jet. Because I don't want to kill the paper. Look, I'm not killing the paper. It's cutting from me all the way through. And don't ask me about getting water on the bed of my lathe. I've got an air gun and I got T9 on it. Ain't got a problem there. I'm at 400. Now I would think that's going to be a pretty good finish. I know you don't believe me. As you can see on this piece of video I shot from my cell phone, there's a little spot right there that's glinting back at me. And I don't like it. Now I wet it down, I sanded it really good, and I've got a bruise over here that I don't think I can get out. That probably fell off dimensions got there. And there's a little bitty bruise someplace else. Oh, I got rid of that one. But I'm ready to go. What is this? These are my pig rubbers. No, I really don't know what they're sold for. A friend of mine, Mike McCain, gave me a handful of them. And this is my save my fingers when I do CA work applicators. I use a third of a roll of paper towel, and I cut that into 6. Do the math, okay? It's not a lot of paper towels. Then I'm going to go at my CA, and this is my Starbond thin. My speed's at about 400, 450. I can bring it down a little bit because I don't have to go too quick. A few drops on here, and then a touch. Got it? A few drops on here, and a touch. I don't go back and forth. That's not permitted. Not with this. I put a few more drops, go back where the first one was. Aren't I rushing it? It was curing before I got off of it. Just like that. I want to do this in a kind of a lifetime thing so you can see that there's no magic to this finish. That is the finish. Hold on, I got to close up on it. Okay, that's the finish we're talking about. I used about 6 drops of CA to get this done. I put it on about 1/10 of a sheet of CA paper, blue paper towel, and I got to get this at Lowe's tomorrow morning. I can use this for even more. I got the rubber gloves on so my fingers aren't burned up, and yes, if you just makes contact with water, it'll burn you. But that's the piece. I've got it roughed in. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, but almost absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take a little Scotch-Brite, buff it out, then we'll talk about it a little more. Well, there you go. Now I got a little more work to do on this, but I think I want to take this ring and shape it up to fit here and then dome it to match before I take this off the chuck. And we'll get into a video on that. Oh, those little red finger things? That's a bag of them I got. I probably got this 4 or 5 years ago. Now, I haven't been turning that much, but I only use a few of them, and they're so difficult to get on and get off. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I have no glue, no burns, nothing else. It's nice when other turners share ideas with you. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm in the shop, and above all else, I'm making shavings. See you soon.